3. Whoa, that's a big score. I'm not sure if that's the that's my score or if that's the distance between stars measured in inches, but hopefully I'll be up there on the leaderboard somewhere. That was an amazing level. Voted up. Yep. Custom geo, game mode, bosses. Yep. Fantastic. Hey, I'm number 3. Check it out. It's not too bad. Although the leaderboard is a little sparse at the moment, but I'm okay with that. Oh yeah! Check that out. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to this map. Because it's pretty cool. Pretty trippy, actually, but yeah, real cool. So, yeah. Bam. That was Eye of Horus by Taylorhead. A fantastic, fantastic map. Certainly, I would say it's on par with Twofold's Domain. Actually, I'd say it's better. Yeah, it's definitely better. I love how in the middle of the map, he gives the opportunity, gives you the opportunity to take a break. That's good. It recognizes it is a rather long map. Which I typically don't like long maps, but this one was broken up nicely. I mean, it wasn't just non-stop action. He did give you some opportunities to there is some you do get a few chances to stop and take a breather, which is nice, And I love the graveyard where he gives out all his honorable mentions, and I had a I went and danced on my own grave, which was fun. And yep, he looks like he stuck to the old formula that he used in Twofold's Domain, which was with the score multipliers, which was a an interesting thing to do. He incentivizes you to play well. Because if you get hit, you lose your multiplier, and if you die, it resets back to 1. So, he does have a pretty good scoring system there, I gotta say. And, yeah, the geo was fantastic. I thought it was really top-notch. I mean, it's kind of hard to do something like a desert scene, I mean, it's really not what... It's really not what the Doom Snapmap tools were sort of meant for. I want to say is to try to do something like that, but real creative and real with the pyramid. Oh, that was so cool, and the sand and all that was really neat. So it's not often you see. Sort of the desert vibe thing going on. I mean, some of the hell objects and the hell props do sort of lend themselves to the sort of Egyptian theme almost. And I thought they were well utilized. But actually, it's kind of interesting that that for sort of this map sells itself on being sort of a desert-themed map, but really, the beginning of the map, you're like in this, it's like you're on Hoth or something. It's like you're on this ice planet, and there's just ice everywhere, and you fight the fire and ice incubus. It's really kind of strange. It's actually, yeah, you do the whole ice level. You do the ice level, and then you go to like a sort of like a spaceport level. Almost after the graveyard, and then after that you go to a desert theme. So yeah, a lot of different stuff, a lot of different themes kind of happening in this map, which is kind of good and kind of bad. I mean, it's nice that there's all these different sort of locations and themes going on, because it's a lot of variety. I mean, one thing you can say about the old Taylorhead maps is you certainly get a lot of bang for your buck, let me tell you. So, I mean, it does give you a whole lot of content. This map this map just, it gives you a lot. But while that is cool, I kind of almost don't like how all the different areas sort of have nothing to do with each other. Like it's almost like you're playing three different maps that are all just sort of interconnected because like I can't like it seems like uh, there's a really cool theme here with the Eye of Horus, and if I could have, I would have liked to have seen this map maybe focus more on sort of the Egyptian um, sort of the Eye of Horus and the Amun Ra, and I think that's where this map kind of I think that's going to be the most memorable thing about this map. Not that I don't like the spider mind brain. That was all super cool. Um, but yeah, I mean all that stuff is super cool, but it was all kind of mashed together in a way that I can't. It would be one thing if all these different sort of themes had like a common element to them, but it seemed like okay, we're playing one type of map, okay, shifting. Now we're doing a different type of map, and it's like the plot line keeps changing. So that, I mean, all I'm trying to say is there's good and bad here. I mean, it's good that there's a lot of different stuff going on, and it's all done really well. But it is kind of bad that it's just not really, it's not like telling a sort of a continuous story because I mean, maybe I missed it, but what does, the Egyptian theme and the Eye of Horus and and the Amun Ra, what does that have to do with the Spider Mastermind, and what does the Spider Mastermind have to do with the Fire and Ice Mancubus? And it's all cool stuff, but uh, kind of all in separate universes that seem like they should be separate stories told. Now that all being said, there is a lot of cool stuff happening in this map. Um, a lot of good humor too, like the guy in the hot air balloon. Oh man, that was hilarious. And the fact that you shoot him and he goes, "Mein Leben," which I think means my leg, if I'm not mistaken in German. But just this map has a lot of good comedy to it, and a little bit of secret stuff. The art direction is fantastic. Uh, like those weird, like in the very beginning, those weird sort of flowery things on the wall. That is just sort of, bizarre, but in a good way. It's like kind of like science. This map has a lot of science fiction happening in it, which I really dig. Uh, yeah, the geo and the art direction is really spot on. Um, yeah, very well done. And the difficulty with the enemies I thought was a little difficult at times because he doesn't hold back and making you fight an entire room full of demons. But I think it is pretty fair. He does, this map does give you a good selection of weapons, a good selection of power-ups. So it's not like yeah, you are fighting a lot of enemies all at once, but you do get the proper equipment and the space. That's one of the most important things. Is he gives you like some um, pretty big arenas to sort of strife around in as you're fighting these guys, which is important. So weapons, power-ups, and space is all key when you're having these big monster fights, which I thought he pulled off pretty well. I really digged it. Especially that boss fight when you're going up against the Spider Mastermind brain. Uh, well, I guess there was okay. I guess there was a little bit of a plot connection there because it said something about the Spider Mastermind put his brain in glass to try to please the gods, and then there's like the gods of the Egyptian part. So maybe that was kind of a connection, but. Um, so yeah, there might have been a connection with the plot there, but I gotta say it kind of seemed a little undercooked because I wasn't obviously able to follow it too well. So It would have been nice to sort of, you've got when you've got. While I do like going back to the whole the diversity within this map of sort of these different locations, going back to that, I do appreciate that diversity. But I think if you're going to do that, it's important to have a really tight sort of plot or a story that can kind of tie all those things together in a way that's like really, I feel like this. One thing that's probably missing, or maybe just needs to be better reinforced, is a really strong plot line that can kind of tie all these different universes together, all these different sort of themes that you've got going on. I think if it would have had a really strong story that kind of made them all make more sense linked together, I think that would really have been cool, because right now it just kind of feels like I'm just playing like these 3 different maps that are all just sort of linked together, which, like I said, is good and bad. It's good that they're there. It's kind of bad that they feel disconnected, or at least that was my impression. But back to the map, the bosses are super killer. Oh man, those boss battles. I mean, that's kind of what most of this map is, honestly. It's not that much. It's really not that much run and gun. It's basically just going from one boss arena to the next. But the way the boss arenas are constructed, it's really cool because there is sort of a little bit of a strategy to each one. It's not just here's a boss, here's some weapons, go for it, go kill him. There's kind of there's like mechanics at play, like, okay, well, you've got to jump up on the rafters and avoid the fire on the floor when the fire and ice guys come out and do their thing. And there's like that mechanic where you've got to get used to sort of balancing on the beams, and then you got to dodge a lost soul, and then with the giant brain, you got to bounce off the walls, and you got to kind of know which airlift to grab to get which power up, and at which time you need which power up. Like, fighting that guy, I'd have to decide, like, okay, I'm getting low on health. I'm gonna have to go for the blue lift so I can get the regeneration, or if I'm good on health and there's a bunch of dudes, it's like, okay, gonna get that quad damage so that I can. So there's a lot of strategy to it. It's not just blowing up a boss. It's you got to think too. But it is it's user friendly. Unlike some maps I played, I'm not going to talk about what they were, but where they just launch a ton of enemies at you and don't give you any real direction and expect you to solve puzzles while you're being bombarded by enemies. This map was a lot more friendly. It that the author actually used a point of interest markers to kind of point you in the right direction. Like, okay, get this core, this core, this core. That way you're not just running in circles getting frustrated. There is, and I like how you go into, there was one arena that you went into where it actually stopped, gave you a cutscene, explained what was going to happen, showed you kind of where everything was, and then let you go forward. Now, a lot of people might be hesitant to do that because it is sort of a little bit jarring to sort of take you out of the action. But I think it was good to do that. It's good to just do certain things to just give the player. Yeah, I appreciate that. This map is very considerate of the player. Gives you information that you need to know. So, I mean, that is very well done. Especially with some of these puzzles, I mean, yeah. So the boss fight's fantastic, very creative too. Giant brain trapped in the glass, fantastic. Fighting Amon-Ra, that guy was, it was cool and annoying at the same time. That solar flare thing. I mean, I get that. I guess maybe he's supposed to be the sun god. There was like a sun theme going on. I think Ra is supposed to be a sun god, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, kudos for, I think I know what you were going for with the whole, sun flare in your face blinding you because he's the sun god, but just sort of playing it, the novelty of that wears off pretty quick when you gotta fight him for like 5 minutes straight, and it's like, okay, I'm getting blinded here. So, I mean, on one hand, kudos for doing that, but on the other hand, it does get a little annoying. But yeah, good attention to detail. Yeah, boss fight's fantastic. Difficulty, I think, was well balanced. This map does a lot of things well. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get into my favorite, least favorite. My my favorite thing about this map, just because it made me laugh so damn hard, was the guy in the hot air balloon. Just because it was so damn funny, and it was kind of so unexpected too. I also really like that neat hallway. I mean, for such a simple thing, it was really cool looking. That hallway with like the sort of the blue bloom lights around it, and you've got your buddy there in front of you who's like, use me as a human shield or whatever, and you're like kind of behind him with that mancubus, and he's that was pretty cool actually. That was really creative. I like that. You're using him as the shield, and he's charging forward, and you have to fight the mancubus in the hallway, that cool ass looking hallway. That was awesome. That was really cool. And yeah, I mean those, and of course the boss fights were fantastic. I think the brain, the mastermind brain, also very memorable. And of course, the whole Egyptian theme, very meme worthy, very, the aesthetics were just beautifully done. My least favorite thing, so I mean, personally, I love to billy goat around. I love to like kind of climb around and get places I'm not supposed to go. Because sometimes you find secrets, and other times it's just like, hey, I wonder if I can just get somewhere I'm not supposed to be. I just find that kind of fun, and I noticed this level had a lot of invisible walls set up, which, I understand, like, you don't want the player to go to certain places at certain times and all that, but me, I just really don't like invisible walls. I would rather just sort of be allowed to go places I'm not supposed to go, and that's sort of something that I always keep in mind when I'm building my levels is, how can I, if I don't want a player to go somewhere, how can I just construct the level so that they don't even think about it? And yeah, I mean, with that tower, like that spirally tower, I kept trying to climb up it, but there was invisible walls, but I ended up not going up the stairs anyway. I just took an airlift, so it's like, I don't know what the point of that was. I mean, was there anything up there that you were really trying to keep me from getting? I'm not sure. But I don't know. I mean, like, I don't like invisible walls, personally. Also, I would still have to say, though, my least favorite thing would probably be just the Lost Souls. I just don't like them. They're annoying. Especially, like, I thought I was so cool when I was in the graveyard and I found that Z-Manzilla secret. It's like, oh, guess what? You just got this, you just got the best multiplier in the game right here. Oh, congratulations. You found such a secret. And then it launches me up into the air. A dozen frickin' Lost Souls spawn beneath me. I got like 15 health points. They all rush up and blow me up, and boom, big bloody plume of guts in the sky. There goes my multiplier. All right. So that was kind of like, what the heck. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like the Lost Skull. I'm just not good at fighting them. I'm not, the Lost Souls, they just they're just there to irritate me. So I mean, that was just my personal least favorite. As far as like things actually being wrong with the map, I can't say that there was a lot wrong. I mean, Taylorhead is he does. The guy only has 2 maps, all right, and each map, he puts a lot of thought and effort, and really has good quality assurance on his maps. These maps are like damn near perfect. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the maps from a technical standpoint. I mean, it's I don't like the invisible walls. I don't like the lost skulls. I don't like the lack of continuity with the different sort of subplots here. But that's all very subjective. I think the average person isn't even going to think about that stuff. Yeah, I mean, technically, I don't think there's anything objectively wrong with the map. It's all freaking awesome. Yeah. Am I missing anything? No, I think I've pretty much covered everything. Huh. Yeah, just fantastic map. That's all I can say. Fantastic map. Eye of Horus. Yeah, he only has these 2 maps, but they're both freaking epic. I think Taylorhead is somebody who probably likes to do these sort of like these long, sort of epic, these big, larger than life epic maps that are like, just amazing. So congratulations on making this map. It's I have one of my maps that sort of gets compared to this map quite a lot, and I think it's just that's really, my maps don't have much in common with this, but I think it's just, as far as people are saying like, yeah, there's a lot going on and it's cool. So I mean, yeah, for sure, this is a super cool map. I think everyone should go play it. And yeah, that's about all I got to say. Eye of Horus, absolutely amazing map. If you got the time, it is quite long, but he does give you an opportunity to take a break, so that is very nice. That's about all I got to say. If anyone out there has a map they'd like to recommend, please leave it in the comments with the map code. And until next time, peace out.